And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Benjamin Mason, who writes, "Hey, John, I just read that Russell Crowe has been cast as a mystery role. I'm curious, if this is for Thor Love and Thunder. I'm curious what your thoughts are on the cast of this movie and if it tells you anything about what Taika Waititi's vision is. To pull these types of actors for this movie makes me very excited to see what they have in store." All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Benjamin. Now, of course, this is news that actually broke yesterday as we were doing the John Campea Show live. It just kind of broke in the middle of the show. We touched on it for a minute, but we really didn't know much at the time because, it had literally just dropped. So now we've been able to sit on this for a little while. Now, for those of you who don't know, Russell Crowe is actually my all-time favorite actor. He is my favorite. I'm not saying he's the best actor of all time. That's Daniel Day-Lewis, obviously. But Russell Crowe is my favorite actor of all time. I love the Thor movies. I love Taika Waititi directing them. So I loved hearing that Russell Crowe has got a role in this. However, something we said yesterday was, if it's just getting announced now and they're already shooting this show, there's probably not going to be a lot of them in it. And it's starting to look like that probably is the case. This comes to us from the folks over at The Hollywood Reporter, who writes, "Oscar-winning actor Russell Crowe is down under to appear in Thor Love and Thunder. Crowe is expected to play a small role in Taika Waititi's film. The actor's involvement was first suspected when photos surfaced over the weekend of him in Australia with the cast of the Marvel Studios film. Marvel could not be reached for comment." Now, once again, this is coming from The Hollywood Reporter, who say they have indeed confirmed that he is going to be popping up and is going to be in this movie. And by the way, Noah Robertson sends in a super chat badge in the live chat. Thank you, Noah. Appreciate that, man. All right. So here's where we're at. Like yesterday, my excitement about this is still where it was yesterday. Like, obviously, hearing that one of your favorite actors is going to be in a movie you're really looking forward to, always exciting. However, Rob, you and I talked about this yesterday, and I think it's probably what we said. I couldn't get too excited because it's probably going to be something like Matt Damon's role. Matt Damon popped up in the Thor movie, just in that quick little gag drama scene that they were doing. And I thought, well, maybe if Russell Crowe's just doing this. And it sounds like from the report that in the Hollywood Reporter that Crowe is going to be playing a small part. So it's probably going to be just like one of those little gag things. So not something to get tremendously excited about, but still, I'm happy to hear it. Anyway, Rob, what do you think about Russell Crowe joining this thing now that we know it's going to be a small role? And where's your thoughts right now on the project as a whole? What do you think?
Well, I love Ragnarok, so I can't wait to see what they do with this movie. I mean, I think it's going to be Ragnarok times 10, frankly. But I don't think Russell Crowe would be in a parody role. I think he might be in a small role, but I could see him playing a Celestial or somebody of gravitas and weight, because he is, after all, Maximus Decimus Meridius, and you don't put him in some funny cameo.
Well, Rob, he will have his vengeance in this life or the next.
That's right.
It will happen.
That is absolutely right. I mean, I love Gladiator. My boundless love of Gladiator. I used to make people come to my house, and I would sit them down when my surround sound system was particularly well tweaked. But the Battle of Germania, I must have watched it 200 times, and I forced people to watch it just to demonstrate how I tweaked out the sound in the room. And people wanted to kill me. And I'm like, nope, you're going to have to watch this because this is one of the greatest movies ever made.
I know we're getting sidetracked, but dude, in that Battle of Germania, it's one of my favorite lines in a movie ever, when Quintus goes to Maximus and he says, "People should know when they're conquered." And Maximus looks back to him and says, "Would you, Quintus? Would I?" And
it's like, oh,
so good. It's anyway, we're not here to talk about.
They say no.
they say no. We're not here to talk about Gladiator. By the way, our Gladiator Movies in 20 is going to be released in a couple of days, so keep your guys' eyes open for that. But I don't know. But what does it tell you, or does it tell you anything? The fact that we've got them. We just saw a little while ago. Who's the actress again from Bridesmaids? Melissa
McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy is popping up in there. We saw that, Sam Neill is back. We saw that Matt Damon is back. Does this give you any sort of a feeling as to what kind of tone this whole movie could be going for?
My only fear is that it gets too wacky.
I agree.
I don't want it to be too wacky. I thought Ragnarok actually did a pretty good job for basically the most overt comedy. It still did a pretty good job of staying on point. And I hope this isn't just too far, but I don't think it will be.
It's funny because when you look back on Jojo Rabbit, which is, of course, the Oscar-winning film that Taika Waititi did, Taika, when you look at Thor, one of the things that's always funny for me when we talk about Thor Ragnarok is that other than like Infinity War, when half the universe loses their lives, the events of Thor Ragnarok are actually the darkest events that we've really had in the MCU, because in Thor Ragnarok, we have like the death of Odin, the destruction of Mjolnir, the destruction of Asgard, Thor losing his eye. I mean, there's all this really heavy stuff, but it's within that shell of a comedy, of something that's really fun. And then we look at Jojo Rabbit, where we're looking at the events of World War II, right. But it's also, he has in there those moments of levity and laughter that just created something very special. I hope he's able to do something similar with Thor Love and Thunder. I hope he's able to do that. And I agree. The only thing that I'm worried about is, in wanting to be funny and entertaining, don't lose that heaviness as well. Like, if he can keep that balance, it could be something really special. But anyway, guys, the question for you is, what do you think about this and the addition of Russell Crowe? It does sound like it's going to be confirmed now that it is going to be a smaller role. Does that matter to you? What do you guys think? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.